And we are live. Oh, hello everybody. My name is Guru and welcome to Agile Guru session. One more session, and you'll be wondering how come on a Sunday? Well, and sorry, some setup issues. So my name is Gurumurthy. I'll start again. And welcome to Agile Guru. This is you may wondering. Normally we have sessions on Saturday. Why this Sunday? But today we have someone special, and I'll welcome him in a minute. But today's topic is a bit different. Normally, when we come to cloud, we normally talk about AWS, GCP, maybe Azure or something like that. But there is one guy who's very good at it. So today we're going to do something. Uh, so welcome, Mr. Devarshi, and maybe you want to say hello. And yeah, welcome, Devarshi, and please let me know if you're able to see. Let me change the layout and see. Yeah, it is tiled. Can you see me?
Yeah,
Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me share my screen so that people are able to see both of us because I think it is going to be a bit of a challenge. I don't know how to do that. Just give me a sec. Uh, because I'm only seeing you in the thing. Okay, let me change the layout and make it into auto one. And how can I? Okay, maybe we'll talk, and if you can press and then talk, maybe we'll see. Because normally in my videos I talk and I share the screen, so this may be a bit difficult. Let's try it out. Yeah, introduce yourself and welcome there. And today's session will be on DigitalOcean. So Devashi, take over, please, and introduce yourself and tell me about this session. Go ahead.
yeah. Hi, myself Devashi. I am into full stack development and DevOps. Along with that, I am open source enthusiast and I love technical writing as well. I am currently part of growing community and cloud ops community as well. I started my own community few months ago called as Byte Makers as well. So wherein we conduct different hackathons and blogathon and all sort of events. You would love to participate, including this live stream, which is a part of the community events. So yeah, today we'll be talking on DigitalOcean and how we can leverage it as part of our cloud journey.
Good, thank you. And by the way, you are very looking very good on the stream. Akshay, if you um, can you confirm that you are able to see Mr. Devarshi? Yes, correct.
Yes, yes, I can see.
Okay. And the good thing is this Google Meet is automatically switching based on who is talking, so we can automatically switch. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
to start off, uh, can you give me something about this video? What can people expect from this session?
This
In some.
session will be how we can make use of DigitalOcean
Mhm.
and how it is comparable to AWS, how simple it is, the pricing and all sort of considerations you need to make while making your production workload or having your development workload running on DigitalOcean.
Mhm.
So that's how we are going to go through different variety of the cloud components available on DigitalOcean, like the DigitalOcean droplets and all of the others.
Okay. Cool. Uh, like why? Means always there is always a question about why DigitalOcean, right? Maybe you want to say what is the reason behind DigitalOcean? Why would you not go for AWS or GCP? Of course, in a summary, then we'll go into the details.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Yeah,
My screen is visible.
yeah, you are.
Yeah, so I'm here on the DigitalOcean landing page, and as you see, the DigitalOcean has a good customer base of over 600K users. It has a really great uptime, 99.99%. It has
Mhm.
global servers distributed globally, which is a 15 server, and rated as hashtag one on G2. G2 is wherein you would rate the applications or software you use.
Mhm. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, thanks very much. And by the way, you're looking perfectly well on the streaming, so we will not have a problem with the streaming. For
Awesome.
people who are to this new to this channel or have seen, you may see that when I talk, it automatically moves to him. Uh, Devashi, this is also the case, but when you talk, but your presentation will always be there. So don't worry about your screen share will always be there. Maybe when I talk, the focus will on be me. I will try to change it in the next session, but don't worry. Yeah, but your presentation is definitely on the as the main screen on the channel. Okay. Now, um, let's do something like let's try to compare, kind of compare. Well, compare is the wrong word, but let's say if I am choosing, I'm a small or medium business and I want to host something, I can always choose AWS or even GCP. Why should I choose DigitalOcean then?
There are multiple factors to consider while
Mm-hmm.
switching to DigitalOcean and choosing it as
Mm-hmm.
your main cloud. So one of the best factor is their pricing. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if you look at the pricing page, they have the virtual machine starting at $4, and this is a fixed pricing. They have the
Mm-hmm.
Kubernetes starting at $12. They have the databases starting at $15. They have the S3 object storage, which we will be covering all this in today's video in depth. But for now,
Mm-hmm.
the pricing, they have a fixed pricing. So
Mm-hmm.
what AWS does is, GCP does is, Azure does is, they have fluctuating pricing. They don't have a fixed pricing. So basically, they would have constantly, you would never know what your credit card bill would be tomorrow, depending on the
Ah,
usage.
oh, that's a good one. So let's say if I'm not a multimillionaire like Akshay, right? And then what we can do is, and my wife says I can only give you $50 a month for your spending or pocket money, as she calls them. Then I can choose DigitalOcean, and I will be sure that I will not be spending more than that. Correct?
Absolutely. Since it has a fixed pricing, you would never be exceeding what it says on the website and what you
Oh.
will be billed at the end of the month. Apart from that, DigitalOcean will also have you a better managed system, since you don't have to really go into the depth of how to set it up and how security and all. Since DigitalOcean takes care of all of that for you, you don't have to do it. So in AWS, you would have different IAM user control and all, and there are too many services, like 100 plus services on AWS. On
Hmm.
DigitalOcean, there's namely 8 to 9 different services only. But these services are managed completely by DigitalOcean, so you don't have to set it up by yourself.
Hmm. By the way, Akshay also have a means I'm also looking at the YouTube questions. One question is from Mr. Varghese. He's saying that can we have full screen? Can you zoom it up a little bit if you don't mind, the
Yes,
Devarshi? Just
yes,
zoom it
sir.
up a bit. The thing is, Varghese, we can't maximize it because then the interactivity and I'm sure you see there are two youngsters in here, Devarshi and Akshay, and myself. Well, not youngster anymore, but we want to have an interactivity, so we will be not doing the maximum. I think it's not an advisable thing, if you don't mind. Right? Okay, let's continue. Okay, you mentioned that AWS has far more services. Digital has only 8 or 9. Right? Uh, Understand that. Like, okay, these are compute instances where you can go and do something. But does it not limit things then? For example, I want to have an application which runs for 20,000 concurrent users. Let's say, even if it's a VM based application or a containerized application, what about the scalability limits?
Yeah, that's a really great question.
Mm.
Considering about scalability, DigitalOcean has different pricing plans, which we'll
Mm-hmm.
go in a second to. But
Mm-hmm.
coming to scalability, they by default offer you selections of different sizes of the, for example, taking consideration of the droplets or it's called the virtual machine. They have
Mm-hmm.
different sizes to choose from. So the initial 2 to 3 sizes would always be unlocked to you. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want to increase, if your workload on your application or your website increases, you can create a new support ticket on DigitalOcean and they'll be back with you
Mm-hmm.
regarding your use cases. They'll be ready to support you and they'll help you scale your application while letting it be running 24/7. Like during the scalability, your application would also not go down. So there would also no be there won't be any loss of users at the same time.
Okay. So they are highly available, scalable solutions. It's not
Yeah,
like who's hosting his servers in a loft
yeah.
or garage or something.
On
Right.
AWS, you need to do it yourself. You need to create a new easy to instance and do it by yourself. On
Mm.
DigitalOcean, you just have a option, a single tick to select highly availability, and you have another tick to select backups that will completely back up everything regarding your droplet. So you don't have to manually back it up to S3 or just do anything. It will be doing everything for you.
Okay. And Akshayji, of course, you also can ask questions. It's not that only I have to ask questions. Please unmute yourself, and if you have any questions, by all means, raise your hand in the chat and say you want to ask question, and just ask. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Right. Okay. And keep it unmuted so that it looks good. Okay. Now you mentioned about raising a support ticket about scaling and backup. Can you expand on the backup and the restoration bit? Because what happens in AWS or GCP depends. For example, if it's a managed service like RDS or Cloud SQL, you can say, I want to set up the backup and it'll automatically back up. But you still have to restore it. You have to do it yourself. How does it work in DigitalOcean?
Yes. On DigitalOcean, you get the options of choosing the frequency of your backup, like maybe once a day, twice a
Mm,
day, and also like once a week or maybe once an entire month. You can select according to the backup. You won't be charged depending on how many backups you make. The
mm,
backup price will be same for the number of backups you make. Even if you make 20 backups, you make 10 backups, it will be the same. But yes, you will be charged for the images you make, the
mm,
backup, the storage which is being used by the backup, that will be charged on you. And at the same time, DigitalOcean would also have the option of restoring via one click option. So you just click on the restore button and your backup will completely be restored. We would also be having a hands-on experience to it in a way.
okay. Right. Okay. So, right. Also, you mentioned like you don't pay as much, like it depends on the number of, it doesn't depend on the number of backups, but it's ultimately the data which is being backed up and they charge the a flat rate kind of thing, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, good. Now, okay, Akshay's turn. I think I have asked three, four questions. I think Akshay's turn is next. Go ahead, Akshay.
Yeah, you can just explain more about like if any new user is there, like anyone who use up to for like AWS or Google. So if any new user just want to go on the digital ocean platforms, like how they should go, they should go forward.
You're saying basically when a new user signs up on DigitalOcean, what would be the process and what should
Exactly,
be your
exactly.
first impression? Like, so for example, when you sign up on DigitalOcean, they provide you with a $200 credit to
Mhm,
while you sign up. So for example, as we get started, just enter your email and they'll send you a $200 credit to try
mhm,
out for your first 60 days. So for
mhm,
example, I already have an account which is logged in. Okay, so in my screen share. Yeah. And once you're logged in, you would see some a screen similar to this.
okay.
So this is how it looks. This looks comparatively simple when you compare it with AWS, since the workloads are quite limited. These are the
Mhm,
services right here, and these
mhm,
are your settings, and also they have really well, yet they have really made a good UI to use and really simple to use for any new beginner. And the learning curve compared to AWS, GCP, Azure on DigitalOcean is very low.
mhm.
Anyone can just create an account, sign up with the credit card details and a $200 credits. and you can start using it.
Okay. And the $200 credit you have to use within the first 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't last for a year then. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. Now you mentioned DigitalOcean spaces like $5 plan or whatever. Uh, can you explain one of those plans? Like, is it a $5 or $50 or something? What does it constitute? Does it constitute databases or servers or networks, or how does it work? Like, what constitutes your $5 or $15, whatever a plan?
All right. So DigitalOcean spaces can be compared with AWS S3,
Okay.
the
Oh.
bucket. So it's a cloud for using as a cloud storage, as
Mhm.
integrating your app as a streaming. So
Mhm.
with DigitalOcean spaces option,
Hmm. Okay. So
and
this spaces is like, oh yeah, it's equal to a S3 bucket where you go and create it, and with a okay, you can store things up. Okay, and what about, let's say, if I see, for example, lot of companies use S3 bucket to create static websites,
hmm.
right? And is that possible in spaces, or you have to do a little bit more than that?
On spaces you get the option of choosing
Mm.
CDN for
Mm.
using global servers. At the same cost, you are not charged additional for using
Mm.
the CDN. But for you,
Okay.
for hosting static websites, they provide a dedicated option called as the DigitalOcean apps, wherein you
Uh,
could host static websites, serverless
ah,
function.
oh, that's nice. So three free websites. Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
and this three free static websites are free forever. So it's not like the first 2 months. So it's gonna be free forever. You can host three static websites forever.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice. So maybe we can launch some servers. So of course these are static, right? They will not. You can't do any programming whatsoever, right? Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Um. Okay. Coming back to real world applications, right? Let's say um um normally, if this is anywhere commercial software or commercial service, I'm sure you know that there will be no single VM or a single database. I'm sure there will be um, load balancers and IP addresses and XYZ. Um, how does DigitalOcean handle this? Like, see, think from my perspective, right? I don't have any knowledge in DigitalOcean. Let's say if I want to create a load balancer for this application and it automatically should route based on some rules, how would I go about it?
Yeah, so DigitalOcean, for example, while creating new load balancers, they just provide this interface. You can go through the region and
Mm-hmm.
all your settings, and you just have to go here and select create load balance. These are the only settings you would need to configure in a load balancer. There will not
Uh,
be too many things. Rest of the security handles and all, they have done it for you. And this is
mm,
how semi-managed platforms turn to be better than the really like the ones which we need to self-manage them. If self, we need to manage them ourselves. For example, AWS.
okay, let's say, for example, if you look at AWS or GCP, you can have multiple backends. For example, one backend based on the path slash app, this can go to a Kubernetes cluster, and slash static can go to a spaces or S3 bucket or storage. Is that possible, or no? It's like only one backend going to a set of servers, or how does it work?
You can create multiple servers, you can connect it with multiple backends. They also provide the option of selecting your own network, your virtual network, wherein you could select your IP range and subnets and all of the concepts which come into networking. In fact, they have the dedicated category of networking over here, wherein you could configure all of this. There's
Uh,
VPC, domain names, reserved IPs, firewalls. These all are there. You wouldn't
and
miss all the crucial components required for any server.
Okay. And reserved IPs, do they cost extra?
Yeah,
Or
they do.
okay. Now that is going to be an issue, right? For example, when I create a load balancer, it gives me an IP address, and unless I go and delete that load balancer, I'm almost sure that that IP will not be lost. But you can use a CLI to reserve an IP, and it doesn't cost you anything from AWS, or in GCP doesn't cost you. I don't know whether it costs you money in AWS, but you can just pick a you just request one reserved IP and it will give it to you. And then you can use your programmings to decide what you want to use it this IP as a load balance or something. But are you sure that this, and do you know how much is the associated cost with it, or is it like dead cheap or something?
Yeah. The reserved IP cost on DigitalOcean is, I guess, around $2 to $3. I'm not sure about that. You can just have a look on their website.
Yeah. Is it one time $2-3 or $2-3 per month or something?
Yeah, it's per month.
Oh, okay, it's per month. And this does not cover your plan, like $5 or $50 plan. No, it does
Nope,
not
it
cover.
doesn't. You will need to additionally pay.
Okay, okay. Understood, understood. Okay. Now, so we have decided, okay, what is the stack and what is the application, and we have load balancers. But this world is not getting colder anymore, it's getting warmer. So maybe let's say 1 year, last July, um, London got 40 degrees Celsius and Google lost one of the data centers. Of course, they hot backed up into Berlin and to Ireland and other countries. What about uh, DigitalOcean's data center, and how are they comparable with AWS and GCP?
Yeah. So DigitalOcean has their own data centers across 15 regions. So
Okay.
for example, if I go to droplets, and these are the different regions, and they have different data centers, for example, in the San Francisco region. And regarding the reliability of a data center, in case any sort of fire loss due to any sort of natural calamity or
Hmm.
anything, DigitalOcean will have a you provide they have been providing you with the option of selecting backups, high
Hmm.
scalability backups over here. So
Hmm.
here they provide going to production enable backups. So with this, they'll be
Hmm.
taking weekly backup of your droplet, so allowing you to restore it anytime. So it doesn't matter if a region is lost or they have any sort of loss on their end, your app can always be restored and continue.
Okay, okay. So, uh, like, okay. So this is just in case of disaster recovery or restoration services, correct?
Absolutely. Apart from that, this backup system can also be used when your server is under an attack and it
Hmm.
goes down. There's data loss on your server, not the DigitalOcean's hardware. It's on your server. Due to any reason, someone accesses your server and deletes or does anything malicious with your server. This
Hmm.
backup will allow you to restore it over there.
Oh, by the way, our good friend Sangati Vamsi Krishna has just sent us a thank you note saying, "Hey, thanks, they're great initiative." And he's new to cloud, so he says, "Hey, thank you very much for doing this." So, hey, thanks from me too, or not the bad me too, me too, and I'm sure there will be a lot of other people who will be appreciative. Um, Prajwal Deshpande is here. Melvin is here. Kevin Palmer is here. So yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate it for participating in this one. Maybe Akshay, you want to ask the next question? You're on mute, by the way.
Oh yeah. So actually, I'm also a new for this DigitalOcean, so don't know much about that. So I don't have much questions. So if you're on side, Dave, you can explain something for new people, like Sanjati is also new. So what are the more other features new users should go for starting?
Yeah. So we'll just start
Maybe
with the
in
and
short, what Akshay is saying, do the freaking demo for me. In short, that's what he's telling us to do. Now, show me how to do something. Maybe create a sample application. Maybe show us some network capabilities or other support and how to do something.
Yeah, or any features which DigitalOcean provides.
Hmm.
yeah. All right. So here I am sharing my entire screen.
Sure.
So when you sign up on DigitalOcean, just enter your email address here. As we
Hmm.
discussed earlier, you'll receive a $200 credit and a
Mm-hmm.
60-day trial. You will need to enter credit card details. This is done just to prevent spam and not abusing the DigitalOcean services by exceeding the. So once you're signed up, you'll have this dashboard looking in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Here there would be a different name. There would be something like default project, but then you can always go to settings and create a new project. So I'll just create a new project here. I'll just name it test.
Hmm.
You can add a description for it. You can add the use case of it. Like I'll
Hmm.
just write here, just trying out, and there you go.
Hmm.
You can just skip it, and then
Hmm.
you need to delete
Hmm.
it. You can just go here and delete. What this
Okay.
does is arranges your different projects. So, for example, I have some project in XYZ organization. I have another
Hmm.
project in another XYZ organization. So I can arrange it here into
Oh,
different categories.
ah,
This is similar to tags.
okay. This is equivalent of an account within an organization in AWS, correct?
Right.
Yeah. For example, if you look at GCP, the structure becomes org, folders, uh, sorry, yes, orgs, folders, projects, and then resources, and then how it works. So here, your project is equivalent to uh, a project in GCP terms because you will once you sign up, you're signing up as an organization. Is that correct thing to assume?
Yep.
Okay, so
You sign up as a team.
yeah. So for example, here YouTube Agile Guru is a kind of an organization where you are going to create some projects per se, correct? Or am I talking wrong?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Here you can add your projects. You can organize according to your, for example, this is my default my team. This is your team. You can create multiple teams
Okay,
in
okay,
which
okay.
you can create multiple projects.
Ah, okay.
You can add multiple members to collaborate on. Like we have the AWS or GCP, have the IAM or access here. They have made it simple by just adding the email and they'll have access. They do allow you to configure what permissions and what resources can be
Mhm.
accessed in your DigitalOcean server on your DigitalOcean account. So that is taken care of.
Hmm. Okay. One more question is like, okay, before we go into one or two, three services which we want to talk about, like
Mhm.
one of the things is is the automation bit of it, right? I personally do not like going and clicking things, right? For example, okay, once the organization has been set up, once the project has been created, I would like to use something like IAC, like Terraform or some other tool to go and kind of create the infrastructure. Are there
Yeah.
any SDKs, APIs available so that rather than clicking the GUI 5 times, I can just create something an automated way where I can go and just execute and then go for a copy and come back and my infrastructure is kind of ready.
For sure, DigitalOcean provides the API and the
Hmm.
CLI to work with. Along
Oh.
with that, they have different API for the spaces. The keys made for spaces and your OAuth applications are separated here. So your OAuth
Hmm.
applications are wherein you would automate them, and
Hmm.
the spaces are the dedicated keys, the access key and the private key used to access your S3 bucket is also
Hmm.
different. And here's
Hmm.
the API docs. So there's different like the DigitalOcean CLI is there as well
Oh,
to manage the
and
resources.
they also have support for Terraform also looks like.
Yep.
Oh, that's good then. Then maybe in the future we can have a session about you creating something on Terraform for DigitalOcean maybe in the future. Okay,
Yeah, we can.
cool. Yeah, right. Okay. Now what we will do is uh, what's the time? It's like 6:30.
6:30. Yeah.
6:30. Yeah. So we started like half an hour ago. So what we'll do is go maybe choose one or two services apart from spaces and maybe show me how easy it is to use as let's our favorite maybe like Kubernetes and one database maybe. Would that be possible or would it go outside your um
Absolutely. Yeah, we
study
can.
limit?
Yeah, we can.
Hmm.
So we are here on DigitalOcean.
Mm-hmm.
We go here. When you create a new database here, it just allows you to create database. You need to select the region. I'll go with
Hmm.
my closest region.
Yeah.
You have options to choose between MongoDB, Postgres. There's
Hmm.
different versions that we using
Hmm.
MySQL and Redis as well. I'll go with
Okay.
MongoDB for this.
Okay.
And basically, what this does is this allows me to have a very pre-managed database. So, for example, there's recovery for it, there's
Hmm.
failover, and there's logging and everything. There's zero downtimes and there's multiple running on its own,
Hmm.
similar to Kubernetes. So
Hmm.
we would never have the issue of maintaining a database manually and constantly checking logins. That will just be available directly in our dashboard for us.
Hmm. So the question here is like, let's say if you scroll down a little bit up, I
Yeah,
mean, here the Mongo you are choosing is version 6.0. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Let's say in a year's time, they get 7.0 or 6.5 or something. How hard is it to migrate?
yeah. They just give a one-click option to upgrade to the higher
Latest.
version or the lower version. So
Mhm.
we can go through that as well.
Oh, okay. So it's not like as I have
There's
seen,
no problem.
for example, in AWS, they have something called DMS or database migration services, which do this kind of you can migrate from one site to different site. But upgrades is kind of one click answers or one click request, and they normally do it. So I wanted to know whether it's almost the same because what happens is people think that DigitalOcean is a cheap hosting platform. No, it's not. Um, uh, for people who are looking, this is not like a poor man's cloud. No, this is a cloud where it's not for a very complex or complicated workloads. It's for like small and medium businesses where things are very simple and you can learn and do stuff relatively easier to AWS and GCP. Would that be a good call?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. Maybe okay. Let's go and create one. Maybe don't create a database. Obviously, we're not going to use it. Maybe try to create a
a droplet.
maybe a Kubernetes cluster or something or droplet. Even okay, yeah. Do one droplet and maybe SSH into it and show me one. That would be a good example.
Yeah. So when I'll just go to droplet,
Mm-hmm.
I'll select the region. Some
Mm-hmm.
few of the regions would be locked and inaccessible, and you will need to request a support ticket. But most of them are obviously
Mm-hmm.
unlocked. For you, the VPC network or your IP and all will be configured automatically. You don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's the operating system. I'll go with Ubuntu,
Mm-hmm.
and in droplet, I'll select the regular one. For example,
Mm-hmm.
the $4 is currently not available on DigitalOcean. The size is not unavailable in the data center. If I select the Singapore region, for example, now the $4 option is also available. So this has like 512 MB RAM and
Okay.
one CPU. Go
It
back.
depends on availability of hardware there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But this is not like a permanent solution, right? So tomorrow, if I ask, is this how it works? For example, Bangalore will never have it, or Bangalore maybe on another day will have this option enabled.
Bangalore doesn't have this right now, so it
Mm,
currently you can't access it until and unless they have updates in
mm,
their system and they finally make the dollar for option available in this region as well. And while
okay.
scaling, now I'm able to access these four. I'm also able to access many more options here.
Mm,
So for example, the higher ones are currently locked and I will need to create a support ticket. So once you click here, it will give
uh,
you, it will ask you a few questions like why do you want to scale and what is your use case for going for a higher plan. Just answer them. The support will be back to you in a day.
okay, fine. Okay, cool. Um, so we have so to summarize, um, uh, we have talked about why and how to do it and what are the features and its comparison, and we have talked about now, given that it's a fixed price, you don't have to do much cost management, do you? You know that if you're on a $56 plan, uh, you don't have to know anything more. That's what you're going to spend on. Or is there a report you can say how much? See, let's say you are on a when you say you're a $15 plan, the maximum limit is $15, correct?
Right.
So you may use only $5. Is there a way we can find out where my costs are going? Like, for example, $5 are going on storage or $2 are going on the database. Is that possible, or do you think that's not really needed? Is the use case is not there for this kind of detailed billing or billing by items?
Yeah. So when you go to the billing section,
Mm-hmm.
here you'll see your use case. And for example, I'm having this
Okay, okay, okay. So
drop.
you
That's
can.
the number of
Okay.
hours you're billing.
That's good idea. Means it's almost as detailed as AWS and GCP, where they go, okay, you're using this service, and based on that, you get charged for that.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. You mentioned about support and raising tickets. Okay, raising tickets is to request for more hardware or outside your plan or whatever it may be. But how is the community support? Let's say if I'm a new developer and I want to do something, how's the community and the support available? Is it like bit hard to find, or is it like, do you know any places or maybe resources which may help me?
Yeah. The best resource to help is the DigitalOcean documentation, which is
Hmm.
obviously free to. And if you have any further questions, you can ask in the DigitalOcean Reddit forum or anywhere in the Twitter forum, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And the support will mainly take care of your use case regarding scalability. They will take care of your security issues. They'll take care of your migration issues. They'll take care of any sort of malicious account use in
Hmm.
case your account gets compromised due to any sort of password leakage or anything. So they'll be handling all of that in the help of recovery as well.
Hmm. Okay, cool. Right. Right. This is my last question. One of the things which we use a lot is marketplace and integration. For example, now by default, GCP, the example, doesn't provide integration with because they don't host Datadog or something like that, right?
Hmm.
Now, what about those kind of stuff where, let's say, I want to no, for example, one of the services which is not available here is Redis, for example, cache. Yes, or maybe some mm, I don't know, like well, ELK is not right. For example, Elasticsearch or something like that. And if I want to use a third party tools or softwares or integration, um, can we do they support this and are they comparable or it's a bit hard?
Yes, it can definitely be compared with it, and in fact, it's much more simpler. Like
Hmm.
you just want to go even more simple. Like I don't want to even set up a Ubuntu, and then I don't want to manually install it, Redis, and everything. I want it already configured in the
Hmm.
marketplace. So for
Hmm.
databases, they for Redis, for example, they already provide the option, I believe, if Redis is there. Or just let it. Yeah, Redis. The
Ah,
Redis.
yeah. So,
And if you want to install
yeah.
any other workload like the you don't
Uh,
want the bare OS, you can go to the marketplace section
uh, okay.
wherein you could check out the marketplace. So you could search here for whatever you want. You have Boost, we have WordPress here, we have Docker, we have all sort of options. You just
Hmm.
keep going down, you have the Merge Stack, you have cPanel,
Hmm.
GitLab, you have many more options. You have your own private open VPN, you have Grafana, there's tons of
Hmm.
options to choose from.
What is the use case like? Who, what people will benefit the most using DigitalOcean? Remember, if I go to a billion-dollar company and say I want to use DigitalOcean, they will tell me to bugger off because they'll say we already have Jazz,
Yeah.
or even.
DigitalOcean would be more preferred to when you're learning into the cloud or when you're working for the startup or the small scale or the medium sized business. Usually the larger sized business tend to manage on their own since they have specific requirements which aren't met by the DigitalOcean's already set up requirements. So they need to set up their own requirements.
Okay, cool. That's all the question I have. Akshay, do you have any questions?
No, no.
Okay, cool, man. Hey, Devashi, as usual, fantastic, fantastic demo. Means I think I'm going to start using them. Well, depends on the budgets given by my missus. I have to ask her for $15 more. Akshay, can you send some money, please? You are a
Yeah,
millionaire,
sure,
right?
sure. I will send. You can.
Yeah. So once he sends me the money, I'll start playing.
Yeah,
And if I
you'll have the option of getting $200 instead with the
no,
plan.
I think it's unfair because you see, Akshay is a bachelor, right? So I'm sure he'll be spending money on something else, like daru and blah 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 blah. I don't want to take names, obviously, uh, but I'm sure he has other priorities apart from DigitalOcean. I'm sure that he's digging some other oceans for something else. So there are lots of fish in the ocean, right? So I'm sure he's catching some fish. Cool, man. Devarshi, as usual. Uh, oh, by the way, I wanted to ask a question. Do you have a YouTube channel or something where we can contact you? Because, okay, uh, how can people get in touch with you? Because ultimately, even if I'm not as good as you in DigitalOcean, if someone wants to contact you or get in touch, what is the best way to do it?
Yeah, you can visit here at bio.link and many.
Okay.
Or, yeah, as you said earlier, yes, I do have a YouTube channel. I didn't really plan creating content, but recently I've been creating a few videos. This is my
Oh,
first, and the second will be out soon as well.
okay. Let me hit the URL youtube.com at the rate they were PARSHIMPI. Yeah, I got it. So for people who are here, I'm pasting the things in the chat window so that people can access. My suggestion is only don't go visit his channel not only for DigitalOcean, but also for there are lots of other videos. And one, for example, he is saying about EC2 instances from scratch. I'm sure there will be more. Please go and have a chat. And by the way, he's also available in community, Akshay's community, Grow with community, and You can ping him there as well. Please get in touch. A brainy chap. It's kind of annoying that he is one third my age and he has two-thirds more than knowledge on some of the services than me, which is, I wouldn't say enviable, but comparable, right? Devashri, where are you based out of?
Yeah, I'm from Mumbai, in India.
Okay, so he's based out of Mumbai, so Amchi, Mumbai, I'm sure. And so people who are visiting Mumbai, call Devarshi. I think you can't call him for alcohol because he's only 17. So you have to wait for a year before calling him because it's illegal. Unless you live in London like me, where 17 is legal as long as you have an adult with you. Can't buy an alcohol, but you can drink alcohol as long as you're with someone else. So, Devarshi, if you're coming to London, you can fly anytime and we can have drinks and food, obviously. But yes, and Akshay Kumar, when I said drinks, he's like, oh, yes, I'm also coming, obviously. Yes. And you already got one subscriber, man. So, yeah, people are very enthusiastic about it.
Yeah,
Let's
that's great.
do let's do more. And thank you very much for doing it. And it's really
I'll be
appreciated.
creating more videos very soon on YouTube
Mm.
as well. Like there's one on AWS. I'll be planning a series on AWS and perhaps in the future on DigitalOcean as well. So I'll be covering different topics in DevOps and web development and perhaps open source as well. So stay
Oh,
tuned for that.
Oh, if you need any help from my side or from Akshay or Surbhi, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll be more than happy to share our knowledge and maybe some time. And also really appreciate your community and learning initiatives which you are doing, obviously, apart from your college time and your personal life, obviously. But so thanks very much. Uh, and that ends the call. Uh, so thanks everyone who joined us for the call. Really appreciate it, and and thanks for joining Agile Guru, the place where people learn, share, and enjoy. And the last bit is more important: enjoy, because we are not here to intimidate anyone. We are here to share our knowledge and have some fun.
Yeah.
So
And make
thanks
sure
again.
to subscribe Agile Guru.
Yeah, well,
There would
yeah,
be
most
many more live streams.
exactly, yes. But yeah, thanks very much. And I hope to bring more videos from expert industries expert like they were say. There are a lot of other things coming on the thing on AI and data engineering from some very senior people or experienced people. So please hold on to your horses. Akshay will be sending out the details along with Shurbi uh, we have a new member, as I'm sure you know. She's based out of Ireland, so time difference will not be a problem. So even if I do at 7 o'clock where Akshay was sleeping, I still can do it in the evening. But that's not the case actually normally because he's awake late night. So thanks again for watching. I'm sure you will have some fun. Please share this video with other people and give share some love with Devarshi also. And if you have anything, please get in touch with him or get in touch with me, and I'll pass on your messages to everyone. So till then, take care and have a very good Sunday then. Bye. Closing the channel in one, sorry, stream in one, two, three.